Welcome back to Paddy's Golf Tips. I have been asked to talk through wind shots. Now I know I've covered in a previous tip how to hit low shots, and we'll go through that to start off with.
The winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Padraig Harrington.
Okay, so you've got to get your head around this. It's a concept how to hit low shots. So I've got a 5-iron in my hand. If I try and hit a 5-iron 100 yards, it doesn't matter what I do, I can't get this thing in the air. It was never getting too high. No, I'm talking relatively high in the air. It's always going to go through the wind. So if I start off learning how to hit a low shot, say just nicely 100 yards. Okay. No problem, that's fighting the wind. It's pitched about 100 yards. It's actually run probably at least 40. And if I keep working my way up, so now if I hit it 150 yards, you can see it goes a little higher. Again, that would be no problem in the wind. I'd have definitely still fight its way through. 3/4 shot. Now, we're about getting to a level. That's a nice shot into the wind. It's carried about 180 yards. It's going to stop. It's not too low. Because again, remember, we don't want it absolutely running through a green. That's about right. If I hit it any harder, it's going to get higher. That's not going to have a problem going through the wind. It's not going to spin up. But I learned how to hit it by starting at 100 yards and working to an area where it was comfortable. Don't start at the distance you hit your 5-iron and try and hit it as hard as you can low, because if I go after a shot as hard as I can and try and hit it low, I'm going to get this big divot, big chunky divot, and that came out low, but it came out with spin. It went right. It's not really going to be under control. There's two ways to get the club face shut down. Okay, so I have a tendency, because this is what I did from my youth, I cover it. So my right side is very much on top of the ball. It's not brilliant, it's steep, but that's just what I did as a kid. So I kind of get my right side high and I make sure I'm leaning in on top of it. So basically just make sure that you got that face turned down. So that is turning down, or the right hand is turning down. That's going to take the loft off it. I don't have to lean in, I don't have to get my right shoulder as high. I can just turn it down. So now that thing is coming out like a 3-iron. Again, while I'm doing a practice swing, that's going to be more like that. So I wouldn't, my hands won't be up there for sure. They're going to be actually level with it, but I'll have enough bend that you can see the club face is shut down. So it's more that position, okay? But again, you can do it with your hands, you can do it with your body, or you can simply do it by just reducing the pace you're swinging the golf club. Half swing, 3/4 swing will never go too high, okay? Great thing to practice. It really is. It will give you a lot of confidence. You'll actually hit the ball better and further than you ever believed you could by doing it, slowing it down and having that face control. So do try that. Okay, how do we hit it in a left to right wind, which we have here? A strong left to right wind or a strong right to left wind? Well, I personally like to exaggerate the move and prep it. So if I want to draw the ball, I'm going this way, I will take 3 or 4 of these swings going, getting a feel for that, and then I stand over it and trust some of that's going to be in it, so that I'm covering it with the club face coming in, as you can see, a little bit shut, okay? And that will help. In a left to right wind, I have no problem drawing it into the wind with that club face, and it will keep it nice and low. It would be a harder shot to hit the high draw where you're swinging up, because that's obviously giving you a tendency to push the ball right. That's quite a hard shot in a left to right wind. It's quite easy to draw it and pull it down your target, which is kind of what I would do in a left to right wind. Right to left wind, I would go the opposite. So again, I would swing left, exaggerate it. As you can see, I'm swinging and I'm also working my hands under, just exaggerating it as much as I can, and then I stand over And if I swing neutrally, I'm going to get a little bit of that club face open and loft. Now this isn't going to go too low. If anything, this is going to go high and hold against the wind, and I could lose up to at least a club of distance, if not 2 clubs of distance, by hitting the ball. Because look, I'm cutting it and I'm adding loft. So you're really, I've got like at least a 6 iron loft there, if not closer to a 7 iron, and I'm cutting it up into the wind. So you have to be very careful. That's not going to be a very powerful shot, and it mightn't work in a very strong wind. So generally I'd be doing that when you know, if I hit my 5 iron, you know, 210 yards in the air, well, it's only going to go 190 with this, and I've got to be very aware of that. So it's a shot that you're more likely to play. The cut into a right to left wind is a shot you're more likely to play 150 yards to 190 yards, or maybe even 100 to 190 yards, but it's not a really long shot because you're losing too much distance. Again, so it's more a chop cut up and just trust it from there. Go down the clubs if you can, so if you take more clubs, hit it easy to keep it low for sure. Outside of that, that's how you shape it, that's how you hit it low. If you're a chronic, you know, I talked earlier about getting the club face and getting it square, and understanding that you've got to exaggerate the move both sides before you will know where your hands are. For anybody who slices the ball, I'm here on the 18th green at the Ritz-Carlton Grand Lakes at the PNC Championship. But if you can find a slope like this on a golf course, so if you could find a right to left slope like this, if you slice the ball, all you have to do is find a slope like this and you will get a nice draw going off this slope. Hit 30-40 balls, not on the golf course obviously, but where you can find a slope in the range at the side of a tee box, and that will make you draw it. Now the interesting thing, if we turned around and went the other way, doesn't necessarily teach you how to hit a cut. When the ball's below your feet, this would teach you how to hit the ball in a left to right wind, because when the ball is below your feet as a right-hander, you will tend to pull it and come on top of it with a strong club face. Now off this slope it will fade, but it's the motion you want for hitting the ball in a left to right wind. You will cover the ball a lot better with the ball below your feet. So if you struggle in a left to right wind, practice off a side slope with the ball below your feet, but not necessarily left to right wind, just off the side slope. It doesn't have to be a left to right wind, and that will give you that feeling of covering and starting the ball left. Right to left slope would teach you how to hit a push draw, which is a great swing for a lot of people who are already hitting a slice. And I think that's pretty much it to controlling your path for the different trajectories for the wind, hitting draws, hitting fades, slowing down the overall intensity of your swing. So swinging a 3/4 swing or a half swing is going to be how you hit the ball low, rather than going full pelt and trying to hit it hard and low. That just doesn't work consistently, hitting the ball at 100% and trying to hit it low, because the divots get too steep. You'll get it right every now and again, but it will be erratic. You're much better off hitting a 3/4 shot, taking plenty of club, and it will never go up too high in the air.